elements of Minecraft. I know my own children love to play Minecraft, so this has been a really great learning experience for me. Logistically, please make sure your mics are muted throughout the presentation. There may be a time where we'll ask you to come off mute should we have some questions at the end, but for the duration of the presentation, if you could stay muted, that'd be helpful. It's up to you if you want to be on camera or not. I pop on and off of camera because, you know, life can sometimes be crazy with working from home. But if you do have questions throughout the session, please utilize that chat feature to ask those questions. If you yourself have an answer, go ahead and put it in there. We love to share best practices and authentic practices that have worked well in your classroom. So go ahead and utilize that chat as much as possible. Big thank you again to Microsoft and CDW-G for hosting these sessions. So without one more thing before I forget, you will receive the link for your professional development hour at the end of today's session. I'll link it in the chat, but should you not be able to access it, please just email our info account at info@ideaillinois.org, which I will also put in the chat for your reference. So welcome to everybody, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it over.
Great. Thanks, Lindsay. Jennifer, is there anything else you want to, I know I cut your time short yesterday, sorry. Apologize. Before I monopolize all the time today.
No worries at all. We were all in a groove. So no, I'm totally fine with that. I'm just seeing that Adam threw in some important links, and there's one I want to throw in there as well. If anyone doesn't know who I am from yesterday, I'll just say I'm Jennifer Brown. I'm with CDW-G, Education Strategist. I'm a former teacher from Des Plaines District 62. We put together a resource for everybody, kind of a getting started with Minecraft Education Edition. I just threw that link for everybody right now into the chat. And if you go through, there's some great tutorials and video trainings that are linked for you. Lindy gave some awesome guides on navigating through the Minecraft world that are linked in there, and her Twitter is linked in there as well. Highly recommend you follow Lindy. So just wanted to make sure that link got out to everybody before we got started.
Awesome. Thank you. I put that in the Padlet last night too.
Nice. Yay. All right. Check that out in the Padlet too then, guys.
Yeah. So multiple places you can get it. Chat and the Padlet. Okay, great. Well, we will go ahead and move on. So we have made it to day 3. Everyone, well, actually, I don't know if everyone's still here, but a lot of you are still here. So a lot of you are still coming back. So that's good. We're going to talk classroom build challenges today. And then tomorrow will be the last part of our teacher trainings where we're going to talk about assessment, as well as kind of putting a lot of other pieces together like collaborative builds and kind of managing worlds and importing and exporting and kind of these little pieces that didn't really fit anywhere else within the week. We'll talk about tomorrow as well. And then, of course, Friday is our student challenge. If you haven't heard about that yet, we'll be announcing the challenge at noon Central on Friday. And then the students will have till Monday at 5 Central, I believe, to submit their builds to their teacher. If you didn't get the sign-in form when we started, it's the same one as yesterday, but we will have you complete it again. But if you were here yesterday, you just need to say your name, that you were here, and you're done. If there is anybody that was not here the last couple days, then you can say no, and you can fill out the information. If you need a demo account, you'll want to make sure to do that if you don't have a Minecraft Education Edition demo account. And this link is in the chat as well. So fun little intro today. This was fun. I did this in my last webinar too, and it was really fun. Describe your personality using one ice cream flavor. So add that to the chat, and why, actually, I should add to here. So how would you describe your personality? You can only use one ice cream flavor, and why do you choose that ice cream flavor? Mint chocolate chip. I had lots of mint chocolate chip last group too. They said it was because everybody loves chocolate and chocolate's so amazing, but mint, you either love it or hate it. So that was how they described the mint chocolate chip. Vanilla, not very exciting. Vanilla is very exciting. Bubblegum, I'm a friendly person that loves meeting new people. Oh, I like that. Heard that one yet. I said this took me a while, and I'm still not completely settled on it, but I'm going with this. There is a local ice cream company called Wilcoxon's, and they make a ice cream called Moose Tracks, and it's my favorite ice cream. But I also feel like it describes me. So it's like vanilla ice cream, and then it has this chocolate brick that runs through it. So you get like the softness of the ice cream and then this like melty chocolate in your mouth. But then every now and again, you get a surprise of a peanut butter cup, like a tiny little peanut butter cup, like a Reese's peanut butter cup that's in it. So I feel like that describes me as like, I have like all these different facets. And then every now and again, you just get like a surprise that's thrown in there, like a peanut butter cup. Rocky Road, you never know what you're going to get. Nice. Oh, fish food. So many good things and references to music. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, that's a good one. Fish with a PH. Very good. All right. Americone Dream. I've never heard of that one. Americone Dream. Sweet. Not your typical flavor, but not too challenging and adventurous. Like that. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's keep moving on. So again, just seeing a couple links that I'm going to give you. Hasn't changed the content PowerPoint if you need it. These are in the chat as well, aka.ms/Minecraft IDEA presentation that has all of the PowerPoint slides for the whole entire week in it. So those are all there for you. And then the collaborative Padlet, we are going to use this today. So make sure you have this open so that you can use it. I will give you the link when we get to that point as well. But that is tinyurl.com/munch, the letter N, mine. Will take you to our collaborative Padlet. And remember, you can use that as a back channel as well as the chat within the meeting. But we are going to go in and share our builds today on the collaborative Padlet. So you want to make sure that you have that open. Okay, so yesterday I kind of separated us a little bit, and I had the brick blocks kind of follow me with direct instruction, and I had the iron blocks kind of choose their own adventure. Today I'm going to bring us all back together. So both brick block groups and iron block groups, we're going to all be together today, and we're all going to do a build challenge. And today is where we're really going to dive into that piece of like, how do you use Minecraft as a learning tool? So how do you integrate this Minecraft thing into your classroom and make sure that it's purposeful and it meets your learning objectives and your standards? So the big objectives for today is to have you actually experience creating in Minecraft from the student perspective and kind of see how you can bring some creativity to your classroom in lots of different content areas. So those are our learning goals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by giving you an overview of what we're going to do for the build challenge. So I'm just going to go through the steps so you'll see the whole big picture of what we're going to do. Then I'll back up and I'll show you the how-tos of that, and I'll walk you through exactly what you're going to do step by step. Okay, so this is just the overview. I'm going to go a little fast. So just kind of watch right now, watch and learn and kind of get an idea of the big picture of what we're going to do. Then I'll back up and walk you through the how-to steps. All right, so step one of our build challenge is you're going to choose what you want to build. So I have several options here. Let's see, like 7 different options of things that you can build in column 1. In column 2 is the potential content area focus that build could have to do with. Now, keep in mind, you could pretty much take a lot of these things and make them fit any content area. I've just picked the most common content areas that those particular build challenge topics have to do with. So when you're choosing what you want to build, you can do 2 things. Number 1, you can choose it based upon what you teach and maybe thinking of this as a way to explore something that you could do for your students. So if you teach science, you might want to do the design an animal or island challenge, right? If you teach art, I would highly recommend you do the pixel portrait challenge. So that's one option for you. Option number 2 is just pick whatever sounds like it would be fun to build today. All right, so completely up to you. You can look at this from the lens of your teacher, like your teacher hat on, if I want to pick a challenge of something that could apply to my classroom, or I'm just going to pick something that sounds fun to choose. So that's step number 1. Then I'm going to show you how you're going to go in and you're going to open the build challenge world of your choice. So I think yesterday I told you guys to have your worlds from yesterday open. I kind of slightly lied. I'm going to have us do something slightly different. You could still build in your blocks of grass world if you wanted to, but I'm going to show you where you can find these different worlds that are already built for whichever challenge that you choose. And then you're going to read the instructions for your particular challenge that you chose. So that's an easy step. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spend just a few minutes doing what I call a build blueprint. So a build blueprint is basically you planning out your build on paper before you actually go into Minecraft and start laying your blocks. Okay? This, to me, is a super essential piece of doing a build, any type of creative build in Minecraft with your students in your classroom. So typically what I do if I'm doing an in-person training is I give everybody a piece of graph paper. The reason being, graph paper is made up of a bunch of blocks. And guess what? Our Minecraft world is made up of a bunch of blocks. So the graph paper just really helps them, think about and kind of draw out the plan they're going to do in Minecraft. It's not necessary, but kind of nice. So I'm going to show you some examples of those. So yesterday at the end of the session, I said, come today with a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. This is why, because I'm going to have you spend just a few minutes doing your build blueprint. Okay, and I will go into some more details on that. So hold that thought and we'll come back. Here are some different examples of build blueprints that you might want to do. Actually, wait, sorry. I changed my mind again. Let's talk about these details and then I'll show you the samples. So here are things that you might want to put into your build blueprint. Start over. I've been doing webinars all morning. I'm starting to go a little cross-eyed staring at my screen now. So you definitely want to describe your build. So depending upon, this is going to vary depending upon what build you choose. But let's say you choose the build an animal option. Describe the characteristics of what your animal is going to have. Then draw just a rough sketch of your build. What do you want it to look like? And part of this rough sketch is to determine what orientation is your build going to have in your Minecraft world. So there's really a couple things, well, there's more things you can do, but the big 2 things is you can make it so that your build is standing in the world, right? So it's kind of vertical and you're building upwards, or you can make your build flat onto the ground so that you fly up and you look down and you see whatever you're building. Total personal preference and just depends on kind of what you want to do, but that's something you're going to want to plan out when you're doing your build blueprint and you're kind of drawing your sketch. You also, let's see, do you remember what parts of your build? Oh yes, this is important. So determine what parts of your build may look a little different. So one thing, this doesn't mess up students, but it really messes up adults, is that we're building in a world of blocks. So remember that Legos analogy I gave you on Monday. If you have, let's say we're building an animal and we're building a dog and we're trying to make the dog's tail. The dog's tail is not going to look completely round, right? We're not going to have rounded edges in Minecraft. You don't have rounded edges in Lego world, most likely. Although now they have all sorts of Legos and you might. But in Minecraft world, we don't have rounded edges, right? So think about those things that might not look exactly what you want them to look like. Another thing that will kind of trip people up as they start to do a build challenge, I've seen this a lot where, okay, I'm going to build an animal and I start to build, but then I realize that my animal is going to be really big, okay? Because in Minecraft world, every block is the same size. So we can't build an animal that's only like 4 blocks by 4 blocks. That would just be a square, right? So our animal is going to be big. So you can't think in terms of like, my animal needs to be like the exact size that I want it to be in the real world. Like, does that make, hopefully that makes sense. So kind of think through those things. Also think about what blocks are you going to use and even like label them. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I talked about orientation. Oh, this is a big one. Think about how you're going to need to start building. So if you're building vertically, you have to start building at the bottom and go up, right? So that's kind of easy. But if you're going to build your build flat, you could start anywhere. You could start on doing like a perimeter. You could start in the middle and build out. So you kind of think through that and write that on your build blueprint. Okay, so here now let me show you some examples. So the first example, this is the Create an Animal Challenge. So we've got a blue-winged water owl. You can see we've even got some color kind of planned out. We have on the bottom, so obviously this was going to be built vertically. So they've identified at the bottom that we're going to start with the feet and kind of work up. Feet, I don't think owls are feet. My husband is an owl biologist. He would be very ashamed right now. Just so you guys know, they have, what do owls have? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to go with feet. So we start with whatever their feet are called, and then we move up. So kind of just a general outline there. And then we have our pixel portrait. So this was our art example. This was going to be built laying flat. So they were going to start with the eyes and then kind of build out from there. Here's a spaceship. So very basic, a front view and a back view. Like here's the general kind of overview of what it's going to look like with some very basic colors. So it doesn't have to be too in depth, just something that kind of gets you started. Here's a tree house, very detailed and very neat, right? So this kind of shows personalities too as you're going through. But again, like the basic idea of like what rooms the tree house is going to have, where the door is going to be. There's going to be leaves across the top. She's going to use oak tree and build the platform with rooms. Here's kind of her step-by-step plan. So building the trunk and then the base and then the walls, then add the furniture, etc. And then here's the desert island one. So this challenge asks you to choose what you would bring to a desert island and then create that thing. So this allows for a lot of creativity. This example was a knife that holds matches in the handle. So since our build blueprint is in 2D, but our actual build is in 3D, you might have to think about things like, okay, here I couldn't show what was in the handle, so I just drew an arrow and then kind of made the general plan of what the match holder and the knife handle would look like. Okay, I think this is the last one. The vehicle one. So just another example, building from a vertical state. It kind of talks about how, it's going to have a rounded shape to minimize friction, etc. There you go. So those are just lots of different ideas to get you thinking about how you could use your build blueprint and that plan on paper to then help you do your actual build in Minecraft. Okay, so that will be our next step, is we will do the build. And then we're going to do a virtual build challenge parade using our Padlet. So you're actually I'm going to show you how to export your build so that you can share pictures of it, and then we'll be able to see each other's builds in our Padlet. All right, so that was kind of our big picture overview. Now let me jump into, so I'm just checking my time to make sure I don't go over today, the how-tos of how we're going to do this. So step one, choose your challenge. And you can change your mind once we get into Minecraft. But for now, just have a general idea of which one of these that you want to do. So let me pause while you do that and check the chat. Oh, yes, thank you, Christy, for saying which slide I started on. Why don't math and science overlap? I'm not sure what you mean by that, I guess, Barb, if you could add some details. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can have a challenge that covers both topics. This is just meant to just give you some ideas of what these different builds could, what content areas these different builds could link to. So absolutely, if I was going to do, let me find an example. Desert Island, actually spaceship too. Well, really any of these. If I was gonna do, let's go with desert. No, we'll go with spaceship. If I was gonna do a spaceship, I mean, that definitely links to science and earth science and space science, right? But I could also bring in some math there, and they could have to calculate the surface area of their spaceship, maybe, right? So tons of overlap. This is just meant to give you ideas. Okay, so hopefully you got an idea. Again, you can change your mind, but just have a general idea of what you want. And let me tell you what slide I'm on. Sorry about that. 163. I am on slide 163. Okay, now we're going to actually get into Minecraft. I'm going to show you how to get to the world for whichever build challenge that you chose. All right. So I'm getting a little background here. There we go. Okay, so you're going to open up Minecraft Education Edition, and I've skipped the first screenshot, but you'll get that screen that says play, right? You have play and how to play, I think, in another option, settings maybe. You're going to click on play, and then you'll get this view right here. So yesterday we went to create new, and we created a template world called blocks of grass. Today we're going to go to view library. And tomorrow, towards the end of our webinar tomorrow, I'll kind of talk in detail about this screen and all the different options that you have right now. But for now, we're just going to click on view library. And then you'll get this screen here, and we're going to go to monthly build challenges. Then you're going to get a list of all of these different build challenges. So if you click up in the top, that's a search bar, and you're just going to start searching for whatever your challenge you chose. So if you chose vehicle, you can start typing vehicle. If you chose the desert island, start typing desert or island, and then it should filter those worlds down until you see the world of the challenge that you chose. Okay, I will pause here a second. Any questions? Mine says library is blocked. Oh, bummer. Okay, so if that happens, Mary's saying her library is blocked. What you're going to do is instead of going to view library, you're going to click on view my worlds. And then you're just going to go into the world that you had yesterday. So that blocks of grass world that we created, I had you change it to something like your name, Lindy's World, whatever you called it. Just go in there and you'll just build some more in that blocks of grass world. That's perfectly fine. Okay. So you've opened up the world of your build challenge, or you're in your blocks of grass world. Either one will work, as long as you've got a nice area to build on. If you did get into the build challenge worlds, when you click on that world, it will give you a description of your build and the objectives of your build. So check that out. It'll kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be doing. So this example is the vehicle challenge. You're going to design your own vehicle. The desert island challenge, you're going to design whatever one thing you take to a desert island with you. The animal challenge, you're going to be building a unique animal that has adapted to its surroundings. So it'll kind of just give you instructions here of whichever build that you chose. And then you're going to click on Create World. Now, If you got into your blocks of grass world, you won't have this. You're just going to start building, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But if you were able to get into your build challenge worlds, the cool part about these worlds, they're already built for you. They have what are called chests. So hopefully when it popped you into your world, you should see right in front of you, you should see a chest that looks like this. And if you right click on that chest, or if you're on your iPad, I think you would just tap once. Yeah, you would just single tap onto the chest and it will open that chest. And you'll see something similar to this. It's going to look different depending upon which build that you chose. This is the Design a Vehicle Challenge. The nice part about this is the chest holds blocks that you might want to use for your challenge. So this is a really great thing, just kind of putting that teacher hat back on for a second from the student view, that it kind of has these blocks in there for them to kind of get those imaginations going, right? So they might be like, oh, I've never used this type. This is like a torch. I didn't think about using a torch block. Maybe I want to use a torch block. Okay, so what you can do here is you can take those blocks that are in your chest and you can drag them down to your hot slot keys, right? Your pockets. Remember those 9 keys? That's like your pockets that you want to use. You can put them in there, and then you're going to have blocks all ready for you to build once you start building whatever it is that you're going to build, right? So this is optional. You don't have to do this, okay? You can use the chest. You can use the blocks in the chest, or you don't have to. You don't even have to touch the chest, all right? That's just an option. Now, let's say you're using the chest, but it doesn't have the blocks that you want, or maybe you're not using the chest, or you're in your blocks of grass world and you don't have a chest. This is a really great way to find the blocks that you need to find in order to do your build. So a really big thing that really that I see a lot of adults get stuck at is they try to be too literal when they're building in Minecraft. So for example, let's say you're doing the Design a Vehicle Challenge. I've had this happen multiple times. They're like, well, my vehicle needs wheels. And so they go into their inventory, they search for rubber. There is no rubber block. There's no block made of rubber. They're like, well, what do I do? I don't have a rubber block. I can't make wheels. I'm like, well, does it have to be rubber? It just needs to be like the color that you want the wheels to be, right? So if you want black wheels, go into your inventory and search for black. Or in this example, search for red. Maybe you want the body of your vehicle to be red. And that's going to give you all of the blocks in your whole entire inventory that have to do with that search term, that color or whatever it is that you're searching for. So searching for color, thinking about like, okay, I'm designing a vehicle. I want the body to be this color. I want it to be red. I'm going to search for red, and then finding a block that works for whatever you want to build is a really great way to do this. Okay, so that's just a little tip for you. All right, so now what I want you to do, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're pretty good here. I'm going to set just like a 3-minute timer, all right? And I want you to spend at least 3 minutes planning your build out on paper, all right? And I'll tell you when that time is over. So don't get in Minecraft and start building until that 3 minutes is done. You're welcome to spend a few more minutes on your build blueprint if you want. Just keep in mind, you know, we're on a time crunch and we're not going to have tons of time to build in Minecraft. And just spend a few minutes doing your build blueprint. While you're doing that, I will answer questions. Let me start my timer here. Okay, 3 minutes is going. So I will tell you when you'll probably be able to hear it, when it goes off. So just take that piece of paper and the pen or pencil that you have and just kind of go through this list, draw a rough sketch, describe it, whatever's gonna help you once you get into Minecraft and start building. All right, let me check questions. Okay, yeah, so some people not having access to the library and stuff, that just has to do most likely with your Office 365 tenant and however they set up the permission levels and stuff. So that's something we can look into. Oh, it's in the demo account? It should not be in the demo account. I'm in the exact same account that you guys are in, the same tenant. So you shouldn't have those issues if you're using our demo accounts. So that's kind of interesting. We'll have to look into that. But that's okay. Just again, just use your Blocks of Grass world for now. Let's see. Barb says her demo works. Okay. Yeah, it should. Because my account is exactly, it's in the exact same Office 365 tenant. So it's weird that some are having issues. Okay, any other questions? We've got a minute and a half left. Work on your build blueprints. I know that's very fast. Obviously, if I was doing this with students, I would give them quite a bit more time, like at least 15 minutes to do their build blueprint. Do about 30 more seconds. All right, that was my 3-minute timer. So again, you're welcome to spend a couple more minutes with your build blueprint. If you want to, go ahead and jump into your Minecraft world and let's start to build. Let me know if you need questions. Feel free. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes and we'll spend about 10 minutes building. Feel free to add questions to the chat, or if you need to, unmute and we can kind of talk through some things. I will kind of do a check-in in about 5 minutes and see how everybody's doing. Okay, 10-minute timer is going. How do you open the chest on a Mac? So same thing, right click. If you're using the touchpad on your Mac and not an external mouse, you have to 2-finger tap. So if you, right click on a Mac is a 2-finger tap on the touchpad. Remind me how to delete blocks. So there is no delete button in Minecraft. There's no undo button. The only thing you can do is you can destroy and you can place, right? Left click destroys, right click places. So if you want to delete a block, you just destroy the block by left clicking. I can move my blocks, but how do I place them? So that's your right click. So here, let me get out of here real quick. Let me go open up my Minecraft. I don't have it open because it sometimes slows the whole video call system down. And just warning, sometimes Minecraft does not render well over video. So it can kind of be a little choppy. But I'll try to get in and just give you some general steps here. Okay, so first thing you need to do is you need to get whatever block you're going to place in your hand, right? So remember our 9 hot slot keys down on the bottom here. So numbers 1 through 9 on your keyboard will select whatever block you want to place. So if I want to place that black block, I'm going to tap number 3. Now see how I have gray concrete in my hand. I point where I want to place that block, and remember to look for that black outline around the block that you're selecting. You have to have that black outline. You can't be too close. Watch what happens if I try to get up close to a block. Like, it sometimes gets a little awkward and you can't place it. You also can't be too far away, because then see what happens. I don't have anything selected. So look for that black outline and then right click, and that will place your block in the world. Your treasure chest is gone. If you walked around the world, you might have walked away from your chest. So you could just turn around and see if it's behind you, to the left, to the right. And remember, you don't have to use your chest. So if you tap E on the keyboard, that pops up your inventory. And then we're building in creative mode, so we have every single block that's ever available to us in Minecraft is in our inventory. So you can come in here and you can search, you know, let's say you needed something black, search for black and grab a black block and put it into your hot slot keys. So you don't need the chest. If you lost the chest, don't even worry about it. What do you do with the dog? So that's most likely a mob. I always say things that you wouldn't say normally always come out in Minecraft world. It's pretty hilarious. I don't even know. I don't think there's a dog mob. I said I'm not sure what you're talking about, Kevin. Can we create our own challenges to share with students? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to talk more about that. We're going to do kind of some reflection and stuff. Oh, there's a dog in your treehouse? I don't know. I didn't even know there was a dog mob. I mean, you can destroy him. So if you have a mob, so here you go. Here's my little mobs here. Let's chase after this cow. You can left click and you can destroy a mob. So see, I can just... You kind of have to hold down your left click and they get mad and they run away. So you just have to keep, actually you have to keep kind of left clicking. Oh, I stuck myself in a hole. Come on, little cow. Sometimes it's kind of hard because they move, but you can destroy them. Oh, you're right, Amanda. I wonder if you're looking at your agent. I'm like, dog. Okay, so yeah, let me show you what that looks like. If you press C, that launches your code builder. And then go back here. Go away. Go away. There we go. Once you launch Code Builder, you get what's called an agent, and he looks like this. He looks like a little robot. So if you have that guy, you just ignore him. He'll kind of follow you around sometimes and hang out. He's only used if you're using the Code Builder function. Oh, my son said it's a wolf. Okay. It could be a wolf. That's true. Is there a wolf mob? Oh, yeah. There is a wolf mob. I bet that's what it is. So, yeah, I mean, you can always go in and you can turn off mobs, remember? So, a few different options. Let's spawn a wolf here. Burp. Oh, yeah, he does look like a little dog. Look at that. So, you can just destroy him, you know, if you want. If you don't want him here, he'll move around and go away. Or, remember, hit the escape key. Go to your settings. Scroll all the way down on the right, turn show classroom settings on, and then just turn off allow mobs. And then you won't have any. Oh, we got a little bug here. I find it best to pet dogs, right? Me too. I much prefer to pet dogs than destroy them. Wolves, well, yeah, we won't get into that. I live by Yellowstone where it's like, you know, wolves are like the big, huge controversy of the century. Okay, let's see. I got 2 blocks stacked on top of each other now. Well, let me stack more. Yeah, so remember, you can fly. We're in creative mode. So let's see, let's grab these blocks here. If I put 2 blocks on top of each other, now I can't select the top of that block, right? Because I can't get there. So if I'm going to click, nothing's going to happen. So I double tap my space bar to fly and I get on top of the block and then place it. So flying is key to building in Minecraft because depending upon what you're building and how big it is, you're going to have to fly sometimes. Like if I'm building a tree, I would have to, you know, get up in order if I'm going to build a really tall tree to keep building my blocks up, right? So double tap your space bar, sends you into fly mode. Hold the space bar down to fly up. Shift key flies you down, and double tap space bar sends you back to the ground. Okay, let me. I fell off an island and I'm lost. So remember, you can fly. Fly up, fly to some land, and just start building again if you can't find your original build. If you feel the dog will become loyal, what should you feed it? What could you feed the dog? You could probably feed the dog meat. Or it's not a dog, it's a wolf. You could feed the dog meat, I'm guessing. Or the wolf. I keep saying dog now. I don't know where he went. But I'm guessing you could go in and find some, like, you know, go and research food. Nah, that didn't get me anywhere. Let's try meat. They're carnivores. No, that didn't get me anywhere. I don't know. Turkey. I don't know. We'd have to look up. The best thing about Minecraft is if you don't know how to do something, there are about a million, billion, okay, maybe we won't go billion, we'll go million different sites out there of Minecraft wikis and blogs, YouTube videos. My niece who's 11 loves to play Minecraft, and she literally will pull up a video. So like we were doing this just last week. She wanted to build a modern style house and she didn't know what that looked like. So she pulled up a YouTube video of a guy that built a modern style house and she walked through it and followed the instructions and created the exact same house. So that's the great thing about Minecraft. There's so many resources out there. So you could just go do an internet search for what do I feed a wolf in Minecraft, and you're gonna find lots of options. I've got a group of 4 floating rotating blocks. How do I get rid of them? Oh, okay. So we didn't talk about this yesterday because it's really not a skill that you need unless you're doing collaborative survival mode build, and that's the drop feature. So if you hit Q on your keyboard, it will drop blocks into the world, and they look kind of tiny and they look like they're floating. Oh, there's my timer. Stop. So the purpose of that is then if I walk over the blocks, I pick them up and I add them to my inventory. There's really, not that I know of, a purpose of that when you're working in creative mode because you have endless amounts of blocks. But if we were working in survival mode, you have to get the blocks that you need. You don't have that endless inventory, right? So if we wanted to get wood blocks, we'd have to go get an axe somehow, and we'd have to chop down, well, no, you don't have to have an axe. I think you can just chop down a tree. Regardless, you have to chop down a tree. That tree turns into wood blocks that I walk over and I grab and I pick up. So let's say I'm working in a collaborative build. So the 2 of us are working in a collaborative build and I have a block that you need. I can drop that block by hitting Q and then you can walk over it and pick it up. So if you see the little floating blocks, you can walk over and pick them up. You can also just ignore them. All right, so we better stop and do our sharing before we run out of time. I know, it's not enough time, not enough time. So let me get back to my PowerPoint. So now what we're going to do is our virtual build challenge parade. Okay, so I'm going to first show you how you're going to export the pictures of your build, and then we're going to add those pictures to the Padlet. So you're going to open up your inventory by tapping E, or if you're on an iPad, you'll hit the little 3 ellipse button that's on the bottom right of your hotslot keys. And you're going to search for a block called the camera. And you're going to grab that block and you're going to put, you could just grab 64. So left click and put 64 cameras in your hotslot keys somewhere. It doesn't matter which one. One of the 9 hotslot keys, you're going to put that camera in. Now, by the way, this feature is specific to Minecraft Education Edition, this camera feature that we're going to use. So you're going to grab the camera, you're going to get the camera in your hand once you return to your world. Oh, for a second there, I forgot I was not in my live Minecraft world. I'm like, why aren't I moving? Oh yeah, I'm in screenshots. Try again. So this is what you're going to want to see is your build in front of you. And you have the camera selected in your hand, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some pictures of your build using this camera. There are 3 ways to take pictures using the camera in Minecraft Education Edition. One is if you aim your cursor at anything but a block. So this is one of the only times that you want to point your cursor and not actually select a block. And right click while you're doing that, it will take a picture of whatever the view is that you're looking at. Number 2 is if you hold down the shift key and right click, it will take a picture. This is a really nice feature if you want a close-up of something. So, you know, because you can't be selecting a block in order to take a picture. So if you hold down the shift key and right click, it will take a picture. The third option, and this is the kids like to do, is you can place the camera in the world and then you can right click on the camera to take a selfie because the camera will actually follow you around wherever you're moving in your world once you right click it, okay? And it gives you like just a few seconds. So you'll place the camera in the world, you'll right click it, you can run and move to wherever it is you want to take your picture, the camera follows you and then it will flash a picture for you, okay? So go ahead and take, you know, just 1 or 2 pictures of your build. If you want to get different angles, you could fly up and get a picture of it that way. You could back out, just whatever you need to do depending upon your build. Let's take some pictures of it. Okay, let's see. My world just went from sun, night to rainy. So yeah, so remember, Jen, remember yesterday when we talked about classroom settings? You can go in and you can turn on always day and perfect weather, and that will make it so it won't rain and it won't get dark. So now you can kind of see why that was an important thing. So if you hit your escape key, go to settings, and then scroll down to that classroom settings, you can do that. There's also another way to get rid of it. I'll maybe talk about that tomorrow. I don't want to go there quite yet. Let's see. On iPad, can I zoom out? Well, no, not really. I mean, you can't really like zoom out on Windows or Mac either. Where's the camera on the iPad? So same, it just is in your inventory. So on your iPad, you're going to tap the 3 dots, the little ellipse button that's on the right side of the hotslot keys. That opens up your inventory, and then search for camera. How do you take a pic on an iPad? Oh, it's the same thing. You just are going to single tap, like you're going to place a block. So instead of right clicking, you just single tap on the screen. Okay, so yes, so great questions, Sue. You read my mind. Now let's talk about where do we find these pictures once we take them. The pictures live in what's called the portfolio. So if you go into your inventory, search for portfolio, and then same thing we did with the camera, you're going to take and you're going to grab a portfolio. There's only one, by the way. You can only have one portfolio, and you're going to pop that into your hotslot keys. This is also a Education Edition only feature. So you'll get the portfolio in your hand, And then when you get to the world, you'll have your portfolio in your hand. So you want to select it and right click. Once you right click, you'll get this view. And you should see the pictures that you took here. So depending upon how many pictures you took, you might see multiple pages. And then at this point, you can add captions if you want, so you can describe what it is you're seeing in the picture. You can also delete pictures by clicking that little trash can at the bottom. And then when you're ready to save your pictures and export them out of Minecraft, you click on Export Portfolio. What that does when you click on Export Portfolio is it exports a PDF file that has any pictures and any captions for those pictures in that file. So if you only have one picture, you're just going to have one page with one picture. If you have two pictures in your portfolio, you'll get 2 pages, each with a picture on it. Okay? Can you share a link to your world for others to see if they have a Minecraft EDU account? No, not really. You're gonna, so, okay, you can't share a link, but we'll talk tomorrow about how you can export worlds. So you can export a world and you can share that with somebody else. But no matter what, they have to have some type of Minecraft account or access to Minecraft in order to open that world. Okay, so now what we're going to do is hopefully you were able to export your portfolio. Now we're going to share. So we're going to do our virtual build challenge parade. So you're going to open up the collaborative Padlet, which I'll put this in the chat again. So tinyurl.com/munchandmine. And we're going to add that PDF file with the pictures of your build into the Padlet. So same thing on exporting your portfolio on the iPad. It should look exactly the same. If you get the portfolio in your hand, you do a soft tap on the screen of your iPad. That should bring the portfolio up and you should see export portfolio. Okay, and then once you get to your Padlet, there is a column called Share Your Builds. I believe I moved it to column 1 last night just so it was right there and ready for us. You can click on that plus sign under the Share Your Build column. That brings up a little sticky note. And then in that sticky note, there is a little up arrow. That's your upload option. So if you select that, it will then tell you pick a file. That's when you can pick that PDF file. It will automatically save to your downloads folder. So you'll just grab that PDF file from your downloads folder and then it will automatically upload it to the Padlet wall so everybody else can click and view the pictures of your build. All right, so let me go open up the Padlet wall. And I'll answer questions. Oh, look, I'm getting notifications. People are posting. Yay! So we had a couple from yesterday. Then if we scroll down. Oh, yay! Treehouse and a house. Awesome. Good job. There's our treehouse. Let's check this guy out. Oh, we got another treehouse. So this is what your PDF export looks like from the portfolio. Ooh, wow. That is an in-depth treehouse. I like it. Got stairs. Oh, here's the inside. Nice job. You've got windows. Very good. Some more up close pictures. The stairs. Very good. There's a tree house. Okay, here we go. Here's an animal. All right. Let's see. Oh, it's raining on you. Oh, there we go. See, okay, so this is an example of building flat and then flying up and kind of taking a picture looking down on your build. So instead of building vertical, we're kind of building flat on the ground. Awesome. Love it. Animal. Here's a pixel portrait. Let's check that out. Oh my gosh, it's great. I love it. So yeah, so the pixel portrait, you can build vertical, but a lot of people will build it flat. So you're kind of looking down on it. Very good. You must have green or blue eyes. Can't tell. It's like greenish blue color. See, any others? Treehouse. Lots of tree houses. Treehouse. I spent the most time browsing the inventory. Nice. Here's a vehicle. Let's see what you got. I know you guys didn't have much time to build, so I learned how to build a second story. Nice. Very good. Building in the rain. So yeah, remember, you can turn off. I should have went over that again when I had you open up your worlds. I forgot. Go in and turn on perfect weather and always day, and then you won't have that option. Let's see, an elephant. Oh, wow, I love it. So there's another example of like a flat build. So you're building on the ground. That's a really good way to start with building in Minecraft, I think. So if you feel like you weren't super successful, go in and try again. And instead of building vertically, see if you can build flat and then kind of get comfortable with moving around and placing your blocks and then kind of move towards a vertical build. Okay, we better move on. Almost out of time. Sad. Goes too fast. Oh yeah, let's do this. So real quick, we'll kind of wrap up today. Okay, yeah, we have a couple minutes. We'll do this real fast. Since you're already in your Padlet wall, the second column, I added another question for a reflection from the teacher perspective. So if you want, go ahead and add a sticky note to this column and answer these questions. Like, what was an aha moment for your perception of what you could do with Minecraft in your classroom? If you've had any kind of aha moments where it kind of clicked and you were like, oh, I get it. I could do this. Or how could you adapt the activity? So this idea of doing a creative build challenge to fit your curriculum. So whatever content that you teach or grade level that you teach. We'll go ahead and add those in. Let me see, any questions here? No export portfolio on iPad. I know it's there because I've done it a lot. So I'm wondering, you could try to uninstall and reinstall. See if that works, Roman, for the export on the iPad. Yeah, you could also do a screenshot. Yep, Jesus is right. You could take a screenshot. So if you hold the home button and the power button down and kind of hold them both down at the same time, that will take a screenshot. How do you place flat blocks, or can you not do that? What do you mean? So I mean, there are certain blocks that will look more flat than squarish, like glass panes will look more flat. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. So you could try different blocks, Terry. Let me know if that's not what you mean. Yeah, so Adam's kind of adding the idea about screenshots. Yeah, absolutely. You can use screenshots instead of the camera in the portfolio. I'm going to show you tomorrow another feature that will kind of bring the camera and portfolio into it, which is also a benefit. So you'll still want to make sure you know how to use the camera, but you can definitely do screenshots. That works just as great. My view is zoomed in so much. Kathy, I don't know. On the iPad, you could try. I mean, I don't know if you're like looking at the ground. Just try like seeing if you could look up. You could try pinching your fingers. Or yeah, Adam's good point, Adam. You could try to fly. So like get up, looking up on top of it. Oh yeah, great idea, Eden. Screen recording on the iPad. Yeah, so iPads have that screen record feature built into them now. So have your students do a screencast and show their build and talk through it. I do that a lot as well as a way. So we'll talk more about that kind of stuff tomorrow too with the assessment. Okay, I better stop and get us wrapped up. We're right on time today. Whew. All right, so tomorrow we will, back into my slides here, we will be talking about assessment. And I just kind of wanted to wrap up our discussion about the build challenges. So in your library in Minecraft, you could go in those monthly build challenges and there's tons in there. Check out all those different ideas. That might give you ideas of how you can do build challenges on different topics. Also, if you go to the Minecraft Education Edition website, so education.minecraft.net, and hover over class resources, you can click on find challenges, and that's where you can find a lot of these build challenges as well. And then a third option on this, what slide number is this? Slide 192 has a link to a PDF document with a bunch of different build challenges. So this is nice if you want to have a nice printout of these build challenges. So I did this once where I printed out a few build challenges and I put one on each table. And then we kind of had like a makerspace type setup where students came in and they chose the build that they wanted to do and they went to that table. So if they wanted to do an animal, they went here. They wanted to do a vehicle, they went here. And then I had all the instructions printed out so they could kind of get to where they needed to go on their own. I have a bunch of different examples in here too of more content area integrations of build challenges. So you can look through that. That's in your slides. And that's it. So tomorrow, if you want to keep working on your build, you can keep doing that because I'm going to show you another way that we're going to export our build. So if you want to keep working on it and finish it, go for it. And that's it. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 Central for assessment. And I know I saw the PD credit information get popped into the chat.
Yes, thank you so much for today's session. And I put the PDH link in the chat twice, but do let us know if you have any issues with that as well. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. I'll stick around and answer questions too if you had something that didn't get answered. Let's see. Let's see. Sunshine says, as I'm preparing for a hybrid scenario for the fall, good idea. I host Minecraft EDU so students may continue their collaborative build. So yeah, you can actually, and we'll talk about collaborative builds tomorrow. You can now do a collaborative build without being on the same Wi-Fi network. You used to have to be on the same Wi-Fi, but you don't have to anymore. So I'll talk more about that tomorrow. So yeah, that's an option. Also, if we go back to online learning sometime next school year, students can download Minecraft EDU Education Edition, I should say, on their personal devices. So the same way that I showed you to download on Monday, they just go to the website and download from there and log in with their school Office 365 accounts. And so they can do builds on their own. So it doesn't have to be collaborative build. They can do their own builds. And we'll talk more tomorrow about different ways that they can share that with you. How can I create my own build challenge template for my students to follow? So let me get out of here. So what you would have to do, you have to create a world. And actually, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. But basically, the idea is you would want to go, let's get out of here. Actually, sorry, save and exit. You'd create a world and you would build the world however you want. And then a few different ways. Probably what you would, well, it depends. You could then do a collaborative world and you could put all your students in that world that you built. Or you can export that world and share it with all the students, and then they have each their individual worlds to build. So we'll go over that more tomorrow and it will make more sense. All right. Just checking for more questions. Thanks, Adam, for sharing all that links. Okay, recordings. Christy says recordings will be posted at the bottom of the Minecraft Challenge webpage. Awesome. All right. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute if you need to. or add to the chat. If not, we will see you tomorrow again, noon Central. Thanks, everybody.